Comey accused in major scandal, he's in deep trouble. Judicial Watch's legal battle with the Department of Justice, DOJ, continues as the group fights for transparency and strives to uncover the truth. Recently, they've uncovered new details regarding former FBI Director James Comey. According to Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton, we now have Justice Department confirmation that Comey was wrong to have leaked records to the media to settle a score with President Trump. How can this Justice Department defend its position that memos written for pernicious purposes to target a sitting president with a criminal investigation should remain secret? Mr. Mueller may have an interest in protecting Comey, but the public's interest demands transparency about Comey's vendetta against President Trump. In June, the Judicial Watch Group filed a Freedom of Information Act (FOIA) lawsuit against the DOJ after they refused to provide earlier requested documents by the deadline. Judicial Watch had requested Comey's memo from a meeting he had with President Trump during which they discussed former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. The DOJ has been fighting the request, claiming that the memo falls under FOIA exemption because it was used for law enforcement reasons. Judicial Watch filed another FOIA lawsuit against the DOJ in September on behalf of the Daily Caller News Foundation after the DOJ again refused to provide requested documents, this time requested by the Daily Caller. That request seeks unclassified memos written by Comey regarding his discussions with President Trump and his aides. Neil Patel, CEO of the Daily Caller News Foundation, stated the Freedom of Information Act was designed to give the American people access to the records its government keeps, calling the access fundamental in a democracy like ours. Patel continued, "Today, when so many Americans feel detached from a government that they feel often doesn't serve their interests, this sort of access is more important than ever." When the Daily Caller News Foundation made a reasonable request for access to FBI Director Comey's memos, we were completely stonewalled. Our request is legally sound and completely within the public interest, so with the help of our friends at Judicial Watch we are fighting in court to see it through. During a testimony given under oath in June, Comey told the U.S. Senate Select Committee on Intelligence that he intentionally leaked his memo regarding Flynn. Comey told Senator Susan Collins, "My judgment was, I need to get that out into the public square. So I asked a friend of mine to share the content of the memo with the New York Times reporter. I didn't do it myself for a variety of reasons. I asked him to because I thought that might prompt the appointment of a special counsel. I asked a close friend to do it." On May 17, only one day after Comey provided the memo that was published in the New York Times, Robert Mueller was appointed as special counsel. The move was viewed with suspicion considering Comey and Mueller had a prior working relationship, and Mueller has since gone above and beyond his investigative boundaries in what appears to be a witch hunt against Donald Trump. Representative Trent Franks, ROS, noted, "Could Mr. Mueller be acting with vengeance? Or to vindicate his good friend and colleague James Comey, who had a very public feud with the president?" Judicial Watch has argued that the DOJ is refusing to hold Comey accountable for intentionally leaking classified memos to the press, despite the DOJ making comparisons between Comey and WikiLeaks, the latter who the DOJ is initiating a lawsuit against. "Mr. Comey may have violated the law in leaking these memos to the media," said Fitton. "It would be a scandal if Comey coordinated his Senate testimony with Mr. Mueller's special counsel office. That we have had to sue in federal court speaks volumes. It's past time for Mueller to be fired and new special prosecutor appointed so the real Russia collusion among Democrats can be properly investigated, and Comey can be properly prosecuted for his admitted and well-evidenced wrongdoing."